to Lady's Garage for episode 11. Now I know I'm supposed to be out tuning and driving the car, but didn't turn out. Having some issues with the clutch. Tried to go out driving, was finding it difficult to select gears. I knew something was going on, and then sure enough, drip drip on my foot, clutch fluid dripping on my foot out of the master cylinder, and it was a brand new master cylinder, and it's faulty, leaky. So sent it back, yeah, all good. They gave me a refund, but I thought instead of just putting another standard one in there, I'd do a bit of research and put an aftermarket one in there. I found a Tick Performance like Tilton set up for the GTOs from the USA. They got a nice setup there. They're expensive, so I actually end up finding a second-hand one out of a wreck over there from Olmsted Performance or Olmsted Automotive at Colorado. So that took a couple of weeks to get here, and once it got here, a bit of research and had to get some more parts to get it going. But I'll go right over it and compare the two systems and all that. But so yeah, so the tonner's up on stands. Poor old thing, it was going good, it was making good noises. I got a couple of hits out of it, but yeah, we'll get to that in the next video. We'll actually drive it, but this video, yeah, dedicated to changing the full hydraulic system in the clutch. So I'll show you where it's at anyway. Oh, there's the old girl, up again. Yeah, you can see the gearbox is out. I made that sweet little stand for me jack to hold the gearbox with a ratchet strap. That made it so easy. So I just undid the bolts off where the gearbox bolts to the back of the bell housing. I don't know if you can see that there. You can see the clutch in there. You can actually see a bit of fluid on there because the slave cylinder failed as well. So standard slave cylinder failed and the standard master cylinder failed. So I thought, stuff this. I'm getting aftermarket all of it, all better stuff. So I've got the old one out. Took all the old hydraulic system out so I can show you the comparison. So here we go, but I have it all laid out so I can sort of show you. This is the standard system here. Standard master. You can even see this is where it's been leaking. Goes through this flexi, little hard lines, a lot of joints, a lot of carrying on. There's it was new too when I put the clutch in. Slave cylinder, it's been leaking, all fluid coming out of it. So I don't know if there's just too much pressure on from the pressure plate, and this couldn't handle it. So I just thought, stuff it. So I got the Tick Performance, Tilton, whatever, master cylinder kit from America. It came with this other line here. They must have a different fitting in their slave cylinder in their gearbox. In the GTOs, it's like a push and pin, and also because they're left-hand drive and where their master cylinder sits, their line's a lot shorter, so that's useless to me. That bracket's also different. I'll swap that over as well off the Australian bracket and reservoir. But this big goer here, second hand, good condition, it's not leaking, I've checked it out. And you just see the physical size of this here, the ball, like, it is just so much more round than a standard one. It's just got so much more push capability, so I really like that. I think less pedal movement will give you more hydraulic activation, so you'll get more clutch for less pedal. That's something I'll be able to play with in the future to try and get the shifts really good. So I've got that, then I've got a couple of fittings and a longer braided line. So it's a solid braided line, no joins, nice smooth flow. Because I also researched online about all these drill mods and all this sort of stuff, and I thought, I just want nothing to do with it. I just want to go basic, high flow, one piece, too easy. Here you've got joins, and it goes into a larger hose and another join, and that. You might just get rid of it. It's not working. Start again. Braided line, good. Also, this slave cylinder that I got from Mal Wood, it's actually Ace brand. It's Mal Wood Automotive. That guy's a champion. I went down there and seen him, and he hooked me up with these. It's internally different. Inside, it's the piston is actually made out of billet aluminium that they must turn up. It's got a couple of O-rings in there for extra sealing as well. And in comparison, like, that's the billet one, the new one. So I think it's going to seal and hold up to heat a lot better. And you look at the standard style one, it's just plastic, and there's no O-rings on the ball. There's one seal at the top, one seal at the bottom. No extra O-rings, so probably being plastic, bit of heat, maybe deflect, get a bit of deflection with heat, lose a bit of fluid. This one being aluminium, a lot more solid, an extra 2 O-rings to seal on the bottom, seal on the top as well. Just much nicer piece, and honestly, brand new, doesn't even cost that much more, and you get this, the braided bleeder with it. It comes with it. That's 250 Australian dollars, and just to replace one of these is 200, so it's only $50 more, and you get the nice bit of line. Admittedly, I had to get this fitting and the line separate, extra. I think it was $60 or something like that. It's not a lot. I get all that stuff from Motorsport Accessories, which there's their website there. All my fittings and stuff come from there. I think they're made in China, but it's an Australian company, get it all made, and it's just cheaper than buying like all the Earls fitting or whatever bloody other brands there are out there. Just convenient shop to me too. I can just stop in and get it. So yeah, also I noticed that the tick kit, it's a braided line, the same as what I got, but it's got this heat sleeve on it, so I thought I'd stuff it, so I've got a length of heat sleeve to go over this too, to try and insulate that clutch line when it's laying on the gearbox. And I've had a look, the adapter plate for the master cylinder, this is to suit the 04 to 06 GTO in America, the Pontiac. It will work perfectly with the Commodore. Everything lines up. It will lean the master cylinder over on a bit of an angle like that, but I can't see that being a problem. That this here is still going to be the highest point, so we should still be able to get all the bubbles out of there, and I actually really look forward to getting it in there and getting it going, and to be able to just pull through the gears without it being notchy and terrible like it was with this setup. It was just a nightmare. I just wanted to feed it the beans and I just couldn't row through the gears. It was so annoying. So yeah, I'm getting pretty pumped and going to hook into it tonight. It's getting cold here in Queensland, Australia, so might build a fire out the front and get this slave cylinder measured for crush, and I'll show you how to do that, and we'll do a bit of work tonight and see how we go. Okay, we're under the car and I've installed the slave cylinder and the lines. They're all done up. Now we have to measure what they call the bearing crush on the slave cylinder, and in the instructions it says it needs from 14mm to 17mm of bearing crush, and really what that is how far does this bearing engage onto the fingers of the clutch when it's all bolted together, and you can measure that just with a simple straight edge and a tape. And what they want is they want this minimum to be engaged 14mm and maximum 17mm to work in a good range. So what you do to find that out before you put it all together, because you can't measure it when it's in there, when it's all together, is I just straight edge on the back of the bell housing here and then measure from the straight edge over to the fingers of the clutch. Okay, and that gives me 58mm. And then over on here I just put the straight edge across the face of the slave cylinder bearing, or the throwout bearing, and then measure from the ruler down to the face of the gearbox here. You take that measurement from that measurement and that's your crush. That's how far that has to stick in. And I'm bang on 17mm exactly, which is the maximum crush, which I think is good to be on the maximum side of it, so that the hydraulic system will have the maximum push. So no spacer at all. Now some clutch setups are different heights and everything like that, and this will sometimes will need to be shimmed so that you can achieve that exact crush so it works well. And in preparation, I actually got one of those shims just so I can show you, but I don't have to use it. Pretty much bought it for nothing, but there, that Mal Wood, he turns these up so that they shim. That's a 4mm shim. In his experience, he finds that most clutches need 4mm on the slave cylinder to make that bearing crush exactly right, but mine is exactly right without it. So yeah, now that the slave's all bolted in and lines are in, I'm actually going to get under there. Oh, there's my other dog. I'm going to get under there and get that gearbox in. It'll focus. Yeah, my dogs are walking around. So yeah, I'll get that gearbox up in there tonight. Get it all happening. Got a mate around and a fire pit going outside here, it's pretty good. Righto, put the gearbox in. Righto guys, new day. Finished getting the box in there last night, called it quits. Too cold down the concrete to keep on going. Tried to get the master cylinder in, it's not going in. I'll show you what's going on there. The spacer that comes on the TIC Performance adapter is just situated slightly wrong. You can see the hole there where it has to go into. So normally there's two studs that come off the pedal, which you'll see in a sec. They slide onto the studs, and then the orientation of them two studs is how that would sit in there, and it would sit on that sort of an angle using the adapter. Now the problem is that space is too round and everything fouls on the side of the booster. There's just not enough room there to clear that brake booster, so I'm not going to give up. I'll get it to fit in there, but what I'm going to do is move the standard studs on the pedal, re-drill the holes and actually mount this straight to the firewall using no adapter at all. And that'll be a better thing for other people that might want to do it, because instead of having to buy a GTO kit, you can just buy this master cylinder off Tilton. It's virtually half the price of buying the whole kit, so it'll be a lot cheaper just to buy that than buy the adapter plate and the line, which we don't use we wouldn't use in Australia anyway. So I'll show you the pedal. I've already taken it out. So pedal's out. Pretty simple what's going to go on here. You can see that it's mounted straight up and down. That comes through the firewall. The Tilton kit is the centres of the studs are obviously wider, it's bigger, and there's about 1 millimetre bore hole. That's a bit too small, so I'll get the Dremel in there and open that up just enough so that it can slide in. Then there's a couple of tiny little tack welds to hold these little studs in. Grind that out bigger, and then I'll change where these studs come through and offset a little bit so it's just in the right position, so that the master cylinder will clear the booster and bolt through the firewall. A little bit of jin around, but nothing too hard at all really. And then obviously, because I don't have the thickness of the adapter plate on there, I'll have to take this off and just reduce this rod size, or even maybe reduce this a little bit as well to take out for that adapter plate. But all in all, I'll get it to work, so I'll do some grinding and carrying on, and I'll get back to this. Managed to get that centre bore ground out to fit the new master. See, I drilled the new pattern of the master, just rolled over a little bit to clear that brake booster. So I'll just quickly cut some studs. I couldn't save those standard studs with the plates, they were welded right through, so I just ground them out there. I made some good studs up. Once this is in here, there's no room in there to get a bolt, so I can just wind up and slide it in. I have to put a little slot in with the studs, so I can screw it off inside to hold the stud tight and then turn them up. I'll mock this up. There it is, just bolted up. Standard shaft, I didn't even have to cut and shorten, just wound it all the way in. I won't adjust that anymore in, that'll be pretty much where it lays. When I put this in to transfer these new marks into the car and drill that, I also threw a bolt in here to set the brake pedal the same height, clutch pedal the same height as the brake pedal, so it lines up. And also drew a line on there, and I also pushed the clutch all the way in against the floor and put another line, so I know that there's the range of the clutch pedal. Now with this master cylinder having so much more push capability, being so much larger than that standard one, it's gonna push the clutch, push the slave cylinder out further. It's got more push, and Now that can cause a problem on the fingers on your basket. You don't want to over push them too far. They can get stuck out the other way, inverted, all sorts of dramas. I want to make this as efficient as possible, so what I'm going to do is I just cut up a bit of old box with this little bracket, and I'm going to put this in here and put a couple of bolts in there and make it put slots in it so I can slide it as a clutch stop. So when the clutch pedal gets pushed in, the bottom's out on this, and it won't let the clutch over push, and that'll be adjustable so I can get that clutch pushing into the absolute perfect point, not pushing too far, and it should be really good. Make it adjustable so over time if it goes out a bit I can slide it back and give it that little bit more, you know, just make it so that it saves everything, nothing breaks. And also I'm going to leave this bolt in here. That's normally where the cruise control switch goes in, so when you push the clutch it deactivates your cruise control. Let's put a bolt in there, and with that pedal coming back and hitting that, it should save hitting that instead of bottoming this into the end of this master cylinder, so that'll probably make that last longer as well. Pretty simple, that hole's already there. So I'll drill a couple of holes in this, slot it out, make that adjustable, and that'll be just about ready to bolt in. Okay, got that bracket on. Nice clutch stop. Adjustable. Undo the 2 bolts. Slide up, tighten it back up. Suppose it's a little bit ghetto, but it'll do the job. Just 2 bolts to go through that little bit of angle. Alright, I'll put this all in the car now. Getting close. Alrighty, it's all in. Bled up, ready to take for a spin. Ended up bleeding it with the Bendix Ultra Premium .4. It's what Mal Wood recommended. I had several other stuff here, but I just thought stuff it, just do exactly what he wanted. We bled it from underneath, and then also put my little vacuum pump in again at the top, made sure there's no air bubbles at all. I don't know if you can see in there, but Tick Performance GTO master cylinder in a Commodore. In there. You can see this has been braided line with the heat sleeve over it because I want to cook all the fluid. So hard to see in there, but yeah, you get body and in there. Just got it zipped back here so it doesn't rest on the pipes. Heat sleeved up. Ended up not needing that stopper that I made. After just sitting inside and just engaging gears, it ended up being that close to the floor anyway that it was pointless having it. So there she is. I still use the stopper bolt on the back so it doesn't flog out, but yeah, there's no stopper in the side of the bracket. It just goes pretty much to the floor. If I get a bit lazy, it doesn't go to the floor, it still goes in pretty good. There you go, Tilton master cylinder in. So yeah, one thing I do notice is that clutch pedal is so much harder to push than it has ever been before. It's just pushing that clutch so good and engages gears good. But what I'll do is I'll see if I can mount this camera up, and we'll go for a bit of a drive. Righto, warming the beast up, take it for a drive. So I'll give you a bit of a look at it. Thought my son's going to do the camera work for me. That tray vibrates a fair bit when it idles. So yeah, let's take it for a spin, see what this clutch is like. Here you go, mate. Well, I'll tell you what, that clutch is so much harder to push. Oh, straight into gear, that's what we want. That's awesome. Take for a drive. Oh. tuned it, so I can't go beating crap out of it too much. But it's safe enough we can make a little bit of boost. It's on 4.5 pound at the moment. Got me boost tee in here, ready to go. More boost. Gotta get the clutch right, start working on the tune. Oh, that's lovely. Before, with that standard master cylinder and slave, I couldn't even go back to first there. I'd have to like double clutch to try and get it back to first. Just would not select gears. It's so bad. Oh, and again, beautiful. Oh, body too. With that clutch being able to push the clutch in further now, it's obviously freeing the gearbox in up to select gears easier. It's actually getting the full force, full push, getting that clutch plate off, so it's not driving anymore. It just feels 1,000 times better. Pretty happy with it. Look forward to being able to rev it and see if I can do some wide open shifts with it. It'll be very interesting. For this thing, they're too skinny. 4 pounds of boost, you just roll onto it a tiny bit and it just wants to turn them up. Let's go through the gears, no one behind us. Interested to see what it's like. Turn the boost up in the next video, go through a lot of tuning, put some more boost in it, tune some more, do some hits, maybe get some out of the car footage. I just pulled over so I can finish this video off. If you like what you've seen in this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and if you want to be notified when my next video is out, be sure to hit the little bell. And yeah, the next episode will be good, a lot more driving, a lot more tuning, so we'll see you then.